Welcome to the Silent Hill Ascension pre-show. I am Noah here with the wonderful, very dapper Eduardo, who will take us through the run of show. Production, please put that up on screen.
Of course. It's my pleasure here. Thank you so much here. So again, you're here, which means you know the pre-show is at 5:40 p.m. Pacific, unless you wandered here by accident, in which case, welcome. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, the show is every weekday. In our post-show today, we have our recorded interview with Trude Astrid Onyes, and that'll be a pleasure. That was Leila who had the opportunity to do that earlier this week, and we're delighted to share that with all of you.
Yes, that is going to kick ass, so make sure to stick around for the post-show. But let me take you through it in case you did just wander into here and you don't even know it, like a baby in the woods. Silent Hill Ascension is a socially interactive streaming series where all of you collectively shape and experience its evolving story. You collaborate and compete with others to make the choices you want and see them appear as canon. They are locked in as canon once a decision has been made. That's the version of the show that everybody sees, a canon story shaped by you, the participating audience, every weekday. Now, let's throw to the setup scene we had. Eric watches on as the townspeople of Hope's Junction piece together that the monsters share a connection to faith. How did they figure it out? Production, can you please roll that tape for us?
Daddy, kneel. You have to.
Faith, what are you doing?
No, Faith. I don't.
Please, Daddy, I don't want you to get hurt. You're supposed to kneel.
Eric!
Faith, please! You have to stop this!
I'm not afraid anymore. You shouldn't be afraid either.
She's a demon! She's the one who brought these monsters here!
No!
Faith, no!
They wanted to hurt me, Daddy. They wanted to hurt you too. But I won't let them. Not ever again.
Welcome back, guys, ghouls, and everything in between. That was intense. It makes me kind of wanna, like, just point a finger at Faith.
I think,
Because-
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Right, yeah, she's just like waving that finger around, like, yeah, this one,
This one.
yes. Complete. It's like, I'm not scared anymore. Yeah, I wouldn't be either. You're the one commanding the monsters. I'm not. But by the way, I do have to shout out Leon Wolfstar, who's another proud member of the Dead audience members in our crew. Always welcome to have those on screen.
Yeah, you were eaten, buddy. Congrats. Or I guess stung, because we had the stinger, we had the snarlers. The snarlers remind me so much of my babies. I love them so much. That gentle, tilt of the head. Oh, precious little creatures. But definitely, Faith, that's Faith. She's arrived, let's just say. Faith has arrived. Maybe it's like a changeling, I don't know, but someone called Faith here has arrived, controlling the monsters and getting back at Hope's Junction's people for, being like dicks to her dad and stuff.
Yeah. No, to be fair, it's this whole discussion, right? Even Rachel's like, no, her dad dealt with this. But to be fair, and Eric's a little bit paralyzed, which the audience picked in the end, the suffering option with remain standing. I thought it's an interesting option, right? It's like, I think it's a reasonable option for the audience to pick. It's like, what are you supposed to do?
Right. Well, what on earth is he supposed to do? But let's recap what's been going on in Pennsylvania. There's been so much going on. Production, can you please show that up on screen? Pennsylvania. And Eduardo, please do us the honors.
Of course, it'd be my pleasure. So, Rachel reunites with Eric, Faith, and Nora just as monsters appear in town square. Now, the townspeople of Hope's Junction piece together that the monsters share a connection to Faith. I think when they get eaten after Faith points the finger, that's a really, real detective work there from Hope's Junction's population. Absolutely. Anyways.
That's when they pieced it together, really. It's when they were spread to pieces is when they pieced it.
I get it. Well, I get it. So, and then obviously Faith continues to command the monsters, the Defender, as Eric tries to control the situation. And you know what? I don't want to blame Eric. We've been, in the past, we've been pretty anti-Eric. The audience has been, but I don't want to be anti-Eric here because this is not an easy situation to deal with. I'm honestly impressed by the fact that he's even keeping his composure. At least he didn't kneel.
Right, he didn't kneel, and that's the one time in Eric's life where he wasn't just like a graveling simp. He was like, I shall not kneel in front of my daughter and her monster friends. But I was concerned for a minute when the Snarler got his leg. I was like, is Faith gonna do that? I don't know. Like, it's kind of hard to tell with those kids, really, if are they trying to protect their parents or are they trying to attack their parents? It's kind of like ambiguous a little bit.
It's kind of like Schrodinger's morality for murderous horror children, right? It's like you're not sure if you're trying to protect or hurt the parent, and we're not going to know until it actually happens, right? That's the beauty, actually, of it, is being in suspense. To be fair, we're in psychological horror, but I like the fact that we're seeing a little bit of a thriller element.
Right. I see that Drew here says, I politely decline your invitation to kneel. Sir, I invite you to a duel. I don't know, this language, I like it. Anyway, but yes, I decline your invitation to kneel. He did so decline. And Faith really is, I told you this before, she reminds me of my inner problem child. This is why I'm wearing my metal shirt today. I'm paying homage to little Noah, that all she ever wanted was to point a finger and somebody to be killed. But in regards to the pain, she says pain is love. Sometimes maybe it is, I don't know. Love is pain, pain is love. Whatever it is, the girl is gobbling it up like the goat. Or the mama goat. Anyway, but speaking of goats, let's talk about Norway. Production, can you please show that graphic up on screen of Norway? And Eduardo will take us through it. Thank you.
Absolutely. So our story so far in Norway, this is where the townspeople of Stildalen threatened the Johansons, blaming them for the town's curse. To be fair, they've been doing that for quite a while. I think reasonably enough here. So then what we have here is Astrid, Hagen, and Orson. Essentially, they're hiding for the monsters that descend upon the ice hotel. And finally, we have Astrid kind of waking up back at the farm, and she left Orson. She has Hagen, she has let hope, but Orson nowhere to be seen. Noah.
Right. Yes, and so Leo, first of all, there was a very strong Hagrid moment there. It was beautiful. I thought that Hagen's look in her eyes when she looks at Astrid, it's just something that's, for me, very touching. I'm very pro Hagrid. And by the way, thank you, Mandy W413, for complimenting my eye makeup. I'm literally blind and I have no idea what's happening when I do it. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. So Norway, we've had all these shenanigans. Leo, so there's been a feeling of betrayal from Leo because he basically was like, I gotta take care of my ice hotel people, prioritizing them basically over the Johansons. And he was like their only friend, so that sucked. That kind of sucked, right?
No, I mean, it does, right? You're like, oh, wow, we're our family's on its own. I can't even, to be fair, we're saying the family's on their own, but they can't barely trust each other to start with.
Right.
And they're like, oh, we got some, but at least we got some allies.
And you know, never mind. Sorry.
No,
never mind that they can't trust each other, Eduardo. They can't even trust themselves, I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, can Brit really trust other Brit? Absolutely not. I wouldn't trust Smiling Brit, other Brit. Anybody that's not called So Brit, I would not trust. You know, British Ivor. Who can trust British Ivor? But like Astrid, to be fair, like I think like it does feel like Astrid's the only one from that family who can self-trust herself. And she's trying really hard to maintain that to be the case. At least Hagen kind of defected from the side that hated the family to the side of, and that's really it. Love Menzel. Oh, sorry, maybe love Menzel.
Maybe love Menzel. Something Menzel. Something that you can cut with a knife in the air. But yeah, and Astrid was also touching on the point of Orson potentially like not wanting to be found, liking his immolator friend, you know, our sweetie pie immolator, our fiery friend. So that's kind of the deal now. We don't know what do the children want? What do the children want? It's very ambiguous at this point. And I see that Jeffrey TLN here says, hate men's all. And I have to agree. If there's not, like, what brings people together more than hating somebody together? This is really like the fabric of society. But I do want to talk about how you get the influence points, because the decisions, the endurance scenes, and the puzzles, all of them contribute to whether or not a character will face redemption, suffering, or damnation as their final fates. So the final fates are decided across the length of the season, and a character's hope needs to be high enough for them to survive a crucial story moment. So yeah, Eduardo, can you talk a bit more about the concept here, the long-term repercussions of everything?
Yeah, of course. So one of the things that's really important here is that essentially we're living, so to speak, in a way. Silent Hill Ascension is still being written. The book is open, but like the pages are still blank. And as we're going audience, what we're doing is we're essentially filling the pages. We talk about this concept a lot, but one of the things that's important about the story we've seen so far is there's no way to kind of fully spoil the story. It's not like I can give you the pages of what's going to happen. They don't exist. The audience the audience are the ones who have to decide how that gets written, Noah. And that's one of the things is our book is not finished, so to speak.
No, the book is still being written, and we don't know yet if it's like a bad Babadook book or if it's a... For sure, it's something a bit scary. But the book is still being written. And again, we control, like the way we impact the story is through the character's hope as well. That impacts how they will meet their end or just, how things are going to fare for them. We do not know this yet. So make sure to weigh in on those decisions. And speaking of decisions, we do have a decision that's closing today. So production, would you please pull that up on screen? Awesome Swas. Eduardo, shall I do?
We can get that sorted. So unfortunately for our lovely audience, we had a small kerfuffle in the back row, so to speak, where something happened, and we're like, wow, we could sort of hide what's going on. So unfortunately, that's the end of the deception. But essentially, our decision closing today is how will Brit overcome hostile townspeople to get the boat. Those options are attack anyone in their way, let Nils distract them, or distract them herself. Now, as to how the audience, you are deciding this, right now, again, the outcomes are hidden. We will talk about it in the post show. We'll kind of reveal as is normal. So we have distract them herself is kind of ahead. And I believe by quite a bit. So that's very likely to be the option we see tonight. That's over let Nils distract them and attack anyone in their way. So like I'm kind of interested, it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out, Noah.
Yes, so damn Nils and their nonsense. I don't know about Nils. I feel really bad for Brit, our girl here. It's a I feel like she really just got transported into a world of shit. Like she was minding her own business, getting sober, getting thriving, surviving, and thriving. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff start unraveling back home. Her mother dies suspiciously. Her nephew is missing. Then her dad goes away. And now she's like her friend, somebody she has sexual tension with, for sure. I don't know if I read the room correctly, but Eduardo, I read the room. So we really have to decide what to do here, and attack anyone on their way seems to be, logical, right?
No, I mean, yeah, that's one thing. Is one of the things with Brit, right? Is it's really Brit by far out of all our characters is like, to me, the true redemption story. The audience really wants to see her do well. The decision with Brit, like often redemption was close to another option, but with Brit, it wasn't close. The audience really wants her to get better, sees her struggle, wants her to do. Although I do take offense that her mother died in mysterious circumstances. For me, it's more like, look, do you want to question a gift given from the divine? Like, nobody really wants. Who minded that Ingrid's gone? Frankly,
it's like when there's money in your account that you didn't like. I'm not gonna call the bank and tell them that I have this money. Shout out if you're in Ethiopia right now, because I know that's been happening and that's cool. But I do want to remind everybody, stick around for the post show. We're going to be super refreshed, super cheerful. And we're going to show you the wonderful interview with Trude Astrid, Ornes, the wonderful voice actress of Ornes. So, Eduardo, can you please recap, because we are getting close to the showtime?
Of course. So, I mean, the thing is, well,
no recap. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
We gotta recap the story. The story's good, and to be fair, it's true, right? Like, we have this spiel about the endurance scenes, but you, the audience, will enjoy that tonight. I'm sure there's a character in there that you want to save, and remember, doing well saves them. Doing poorly does it. If you hate the character, you can also let them die. But the big thing, right, with the show about to start, the kids have. How should I mean, I'm gonna say come into their own. But that more in the kind of biblical apocalypse sense than the age of coming of age comedy styles, right? It's a little bit of a different take. The monsters, the finger pointing, the mercilessly brooding, killing like snarlers, eating down some Leos, like that. It's kind of where we're at. Is the pointy finger with the monsters and the kids. Now the question is, what do the adults try to do? To be fair, Rachel and Eric kind of both in that rough spot, right? They're both like, I don't know what to do here, which for once is me seeing these characters as flawed and going like, totally reasonable on that one. Like, that's a normal thing to go through, given the circumstances. Whereas Astrid is still trying to be calm, cool, and collected, and she's going like, I don't think this is going to work. She's trying to figure stuff out. Like, very impressive from her, but what's going to be actually much more impressive than just Astrid's character in the show is that you, the audience, in the post show, will get to hear from the voice actress who portrayed Astrid. And we know you'll enjoy that. But Noah, that way I don't disappear, because we recorded. I'll be back.
Oh my God, I'm so excited, because a lot of times I miss you, when you're gone. So yeah, stick around. After the show, we're gonna have the interview showing. Faith does make a really good point. We're gonna see how that unfolds. So please enjoy the episode. We'll see you after.